sending a message of defeat. EC7 heavy transports coming from the mud, pristine and polished, running in the blood, but right behind the chrome, right behind the gear, 7 rusted junk start to appear. 7 and 7, the transmission is dark, the rust is going to swallow the Syndicate spark. The broken down machines are eating all the new, and nobody on the grid knows what the boss should do. It's an encrypted nightmare, a system-wide crash, turning every corporate credit into he called in the board, but nobody could read the message from the Lord. They're staring at the data, they're looking at the screen, but they can't find the ghost inside the machine. The terror is rising, the boss is on the edge, looking for a man to stand up on the ledge. 7 and 7, the rust is coming. 7 and 7. The boss made the call, dropped the heavy iron winch down the concrete wall. I've been sitting in the silence, I've been sitting in the black, but the architect is finally calling the foreman back. The light is blinding, the air is getting thin as the heavy metal cable starts to pull me in. Shaving off the grit, shaving off the time, washing off the dust of the sub-level crime. Drop the prison canvas, put the clean gear on. The 2-year winter is finally gone. Stepping out of the pit, standing in the glow, getting ready for the heaviest audit I know. Isolation state. I'm walking through the penthouse, I'm walking through the hall, answering the summons of the global boss's call. The foreman The CEO is leaning from the obsidian chair. I heard you read the static in the heavy neon air. I saw the 7 junkers, I saw the empty grain. Tell me what the architect is writing in the rain. I looked him in the eye, I didn't blink or flinch. I don't have the power to move the heavy winch. The answer doesn't live inside a man of common clay, but the maker has a message for the Syndicate today. 7 years of plenty, 7 years of gold, more supply than every warehouse on the grid can hold. But right behind the harvest, the system's going to crack, and 7 years of famine are going to take the county back. The consumption is total, the hunger is a blade. It's gonna eat the memory of every profit made. In the dark to keep the global grid from losing every spark. Take 1/5 of every shipment, take 1/5 of every load, store it in the concrete before we hit the road. Build the heavy silos, lock the heavy gate, or the entire syndicate is gonna meet a hollow fate. The crash is coming. Is living in his lung. He's got the heavy wisdom on the middle of his tongue. He stood up from the desk, he walked across the floor, and opened up the handle of the highest sector door. Signet on the finger, gold around the neck. The prisoner is standing on the top of the deck, dressed in high-grade it doesn't work anymore. Pull the concrete, lock the gate. Pour the concrete.
The final shift is over. The 7th year is done. The heavy clouds of rust are blocking out the sun. The fields are turning black. The copper wire is dead. And every single worker is begging for the bread. The Famine Protocol is active on the screen. The terrifying truth of the CEO's dream.
The system is crashing. The supply chain snaps. The outer grids are falling off the top of the maps. The soil is dead iron. The rivers are bone. The entire world is standing in the danger zone. The panic is rising in the middle of the street. But the maker put the surplus beneath the foreman's feet.
Crying to the boss in the tower, but the CEO has delegated all of his power. He points to the silos, he points to the vault. Go to the foreman to survive the assault. The entire earth is walking down the heavy broken road to buy the heavy rations from the man who read the